All right, so we're back with our 100th episode. So
We're back in the future.
we're back to the future or back in the future. That we
We're
we
back.
talked about this, I guess, quite a while ago. Ooh,
Yeah, this
quite
was like
more than
our
a year.
second episode.
Yes, back in
Now
January or
it's our
something.
100th
This
episode.
is our 100th episode. The only reason why we got so far was because we had those Thursday episodes, and it
Okay,
just got it caught
it
up.
doesn't. We don't have to explain to everybody why we did it. We did it because we cheated. Okay, we cheated in
We
life and we
cheated.
got ahead.
We got the sports almanac
Yes, we did. It is
of
hanging on
our
your
own
wall over there,
show. That's right. It's
next
just
to
a
your
picture.
next to your multipass.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that we made it to 100 because like I said, right? If you put your mind, what is it? If you put your mind to it, you could achieve anything.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you jealous? Look, I'm holding a copy of what's this? A match made
Open
in
it up. I want to
space.
see. Is there any words in it? Can you read
There's
this?
some words in it, but it's just
Oh, it's
basically
a
like a
thin. It's
journal.
look at that. It's not even right now. You should have done that. Now you just
Look,
ruined
look,
the
look,
illusion.
look, look, look. Oh, hold
Whatever.
on. Probably can't read it though.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's
just
the
jealous.
book. I don't know. The one in the Back to the Future movie is a lot thicker than that. That's just a
Yeah,
thin
it
book.
is, right? It's just like it's a hard copy,
Yeah,
I thought it's just
technically,
as
I
cool to
have
have.
that because I don't know if you know this. They made this book called Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Did you get that one?
Yeah, that's the same one I got.
Okay, and it's got little bitty things. It's got the letter that Doc.
Yes.
This, this, this stuff's so good.
Yes.
It's got the picture. The best thing in here to me is though the picture.
Is it the
Was the picture?
original letter or the one that it got kind of burned up, like the one from the end of the movie?
Oh, this is the original. This is
Yeah.
originally wrote.
Because, when I first saw that, right, I always wanted a copy of that. Yeah, the picture.
Isn't
Yes.
that
Oh,
cool?
I haven't really looked through my book yet. I need to.
You need to because there's a better one came out. It's called the Haynes Manual, the DeLorean Time Machine,
Oh, yes.
which is actually gives you a little backstory on Doc Brown.
Oh,
His
you know
doc,
what?
his
I was
dad was
gonna I was
a
gonna talk
lawyer.
about that because I saw on one of the videos, actually not a video, there was a comic book that actually talked about like how Marty met Doc in the first place. Have you come?
Okay,
Does it talk about that?
I'm sure it does. I haven't read it all.
Oh, you haven't read it all? Because
No,
in the beginning,
technically.
right, the whole movie. Now that I'm adult, we wonder why. How did Marty and Doc even come across each other's lives before this?
Yeah, you wonder a little bit, but it's not.
Is not what?
I never wondered on it that much.
No, I'm sorry. I'm telling. This is the thing I'm talking about now. If this was made in present day, this is what we question. There's some kind of mind logic. I've been thinking about this. If you watch a movie when you were young, right, like in the 80s, you don't question any of
Okay.
that, okay? But now, if we watch the same movie in adult, right, let's just say we never seen it in the 80s, this is our first time
Yeah.
watching it, then we question that. We don't question that when we're young. Even when we were watching this movie, right, I enjoy it for what it was. I'm never able
Yeah.
to put myself in that mindset where, like, all these things don't make sense. Like, what is a 16? Oh, I don't even know how old Marty is. He's in high school. What is a
Yeah, he's in high
teenager
school.
doing with or how old is Doc Brown, by the way? In this
He's supposed to be by the time we get in the 80s, he's in his 60s. He's in his 40s.
60s. Okay.
Yeah,
This
because
is
remember
what you
that's a
question.
30-year jump.
Like, what happened to him? Right, this is the Aunt May thing I see too. Like Aunt May in the comic books, Peter is 16, she's 90. Peter's in his 30s, Aunt May is still 90. This is how I see Doc Brown. In 1985, like Doc Brown looks old enough, right? He goes back in time, like dude, he looks the same. It's like they didn't change him, and I think this is the first time I realized Doc Brown came from a rich family. Did you get that?
Yeah, well, his father's a judge.
Oh, that's right. Well, I didn't pick that up from this movie.
It's in the book.
Yeah, okay. See, I didn't pick that up from
But
this
I think
movie.
they explain it somewhere in them. I think it's explained somewhere in one of the movies. It's
Yeah.
not explained in this movie. It may have because on the wall he has all the newspaper clippings that tells you all kinds of
Yes.
stuff. It even tells you the destruction of his house.
You know who else I thought it was Biff. Biff is also a rich person, right? That's why he's got a car. That's why he's able to have the money to fix it.
Biff is not a rich person.
Why is that?
We learned that by watching the second movie.
So how come he has a car?
Remember, he lives with his grandma.
Right, but then maybe the witch came
He
from
probably
the
got a
grandmother.
good job. He probably got a good job and worked really hard and just bought a car.
Just-
Or he bullied people and stole money.
so it's the so
Biff,
is that
we got to remember, Biff is a bit of a crook.
he is right.
Yes, he's a crook.
See, I didn't get that. See, I didn't get that from just watching this movie. Though, like just based
Yeah.
on this movie alone, like I just thought Biff was rich. Like they never show his
Oh,
parents,
okay.
right? They didn't need to. I didn't care. I didn't really need to know about
Well,
that.
okay, and you're right. I mean, by this movie, I guess you could think that. I never thought he was that rich, but I
Oh,
mean, I can
his
see where
money.
you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from now that he says that. But yeah, but we know from watching the second movie.
Nope, we can't talk about a second. Let's just slowly stay on
Okay.
this one.
All right.
That's what we did
All right,
the
we'll stay on
first
that.
time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We should stay on this movie. But
Yeah.
by the way, I'm gonna point out that we didn't really ever need the sequels, anyways.
No, yeah, we don't need a
I mean,
sequel.
we
This was
wanted
a
them after we saw the first one.
well, yeah, because at the end, right? And the other oh, you know what I noticed this first time that I never talked about that I never brought up in the beginning of all the clocks, right? There was one clock of the clock tower where like was a dude hanging on the clock. Did you see that?
Yeah, we actually talked about this the first one.
Oh, I don't
It's
remember that.
Foreshadows, but this is original clock. It's actually a clock with a picture from a silent movie, job safety or something, where there's an actor that actually hung off a clock. The last name of I don't remember the actor's name. His last name was Lloyd though, which is funny because it's Chris Lloyd that hangs off the clock. They just happened to find this picture, but this is a like 1920s movie.
You know, oh, this is 1920. You know what? That must be something that Jackie Chan saw because there's another movie that Jackie Chan did back in 1982, 83 called Project A. He actually hang off a clock, like the hand of a clock is like
Yeah.
3 or 4 stories high, and he fall through.
Well,
Now that I
most
think,
likely this is the thing because this is
Yeah.
a movie called I think it's called Job Safety or something.
yeah, it's probably
And
like
this
the
guy-
guy's doing
And
stunts,
it's
right?
a silent black
Yeah,
and white
it's a
movie.
silent
And
black, yep.
That's a clock with a picture on it, and they thought, well, this mimics the end of our movie, so we're going to put it at the very beginning. Because you got to think this was
Oh.
one long rolling shot. The movie
Yes.
starts off one rolling shot, and then all it's supposed to do is introduce Doc Brown without ever showing you Doc Brown.
Yes.
And then the second part of it introduces you to Marty.
You know, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Like, actually, I put that on the thing. Like, what was Marty even doing there?
He's coming by. He probably came by every day just check on Doc Brown just before he went to job.
To use his amplifier.
Well, he probably looked around and said, "Hey, Doc Brown's not here. I'm going to use his amplifier." But who knows? I mean, most likely, here's how Marty met Doc Brown. I'm going to say, because we find out after he leaves, Doc Brown's. As you can see, this Doc Brown had a big brick mansion. We know this by the movie, but it starts off. It says it burned his house down, and he sold all his land and paid for all the crap that he's went through.
Yes.
So when he comes out of the garage, you see that his front yard or the front of his garage is now a Burger King parking lot. Just want to point out that Marty's older brother works at Burger King at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, is it Burger King? Is that what that uniform was? I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
familiar.
that was a Burger King. Well, come on, it's the 80s. I'm sure they've changed. And we don't see that many
Well,
Burger
yeah.
Kings. But we already went over this Burger King thing last time we did Back to the Future, so we'll just go ahead and
I'm gonna tell
pass
you
it.
something, man. I don't remember anything that we talked about in the first, like, because it was like a year and a half ago now.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I got a good
Ugh.
memory.
Yeah.
But
eventually.
anyhow, we went all over Burger King. But actually, we did Burger King because we did the second movie. Is what we talked about because there's a Burger King
Oh.
downtown in the middle of the street.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyhow, let's go with it. So anyways, that's where he sold all that stuff. So most likely, Marty one day went to go get a hamburger at Burger King, was hanging out in the parking lot, saw this guy
Oh,
with all
I
these
love-
stupid inventions.
I
and
love
then went
your
over there hanging.
imagination on this.
That's the same way you meet all these old people.
Yeah.
You always meet old crazy people. I don't know if you do it in the city, but in a small town, you'll be with the crazy people because they're out in their yard doing something
'Cause
stupid. So you got to go over there and
Listen.
ask a stupid question, see what kind of stupid thing they're doing, and
So-
boom, you're.
So Bob Gale actually, well, you probably didn't know because I didn't read the comic books either, but it was on video where like Bob Gale actually, you know, he did a comic book series of Back to the Future
Yeah.
after this, and he explained how Marty and Doc met. It was because Marty like 2 or 3, 4 years ago before this the movie start, right? Marty actually broke into Doc Brown's house because he thought that would be like cool amplifier and stereo equipment, right? Which it did. And when Doc Brown, instead of turning him to the police, right, he saw like Marty's like determination, like you know how he
Okay.
wants something done. That's basically it. It's not the best thing, but it's just interesting.
Okay, good, because I was gonna say that's a crazy story too.
Well, yeah, it's just for comic books though. So I'm like, oh, this is how
Okay.
they met, and that's why like Marty knew about the amplifier because that's
Yeah,
like,
well,
Doc Brown's
the
equipment.
amplifier was just slowly being built, though.
Yeah, but no, yeah, but like he that's what he does. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's pretty cool. But you know, the comic book is worth a notice, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a Telltale game series too to this. It's supposed to be
Ooh,
like another
Because
sequel to
did
this.
you play it?
Yes, I did. I played all the way through.
Okay, so how was it? Because I never played it.
Eh,
Oh, okay.
You'd have to be like way, way hardcore
into
into
Back to the Future.
future to get into it. It was okay, but I don't know. I wasn't near as impressed. I just wasn't near as impressed with it as I think I should have. I enjoyed it. I mean, for one play,
Hmm.
you won't
Oh,
ever
for
see me
one
go
play.
back to it. Yeah, you won't ever see me go back to it.
So okay, so you won't go back to it. Is
It's
it
exactly because all it does is it puts you back in the 1920s. It's kind of like watching the third movie
oh.
set in the 1920s.
So there's
And
nothing like choices you make that can alter the I guess the future of this game.
yeah, not really. You don't really change that much. And this is after they already have Doc Brown has a train and all this stuff.
Oh
So in a
wow.
way, it was kind of like the cartoons, which
Okay.
I didn't enjoy that much either.
So I'm gonna ask you this since we're talking about it, right? I know back then we didn't question the logic, but now I was. Now I am.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you
I
are.
was able
Yeah,
to
you
watch
are.
this
I'm not.
movie twice this week. Okay.
Okay, I only watched
See,
it
that's
once this
okay.
week.
So I want
But
to talk
to
about that before
still,
I got up to
but I
this
want to just
point.
point out, watching this again, this is a great movie.
Okay, yes,
This is an amazing
right.
movie.
But
And
now,
you asked me why come it didn't get old.
what
It's
do you mean you
because
didn't
it's
get it?
such a simple story. You asked,
It
well,
is a simple
you asked,
story. Yes,
why
I
do we
agree on
question the
that.
time travel stuff? It's a simple story.
It's
This guy
the
goes back,
80s
he
logic.
fixes stuff.
Yes.
Well, it's not 80s logic. Oh, it's just the story is basically about somebody going back to fix all this problem. Go
Oh no no
back.
no! I'm talking about 80s logic where like you don't have to worry about the science of it all. That's what I'm
Well, I think
pointing
that's
out.
90s logic. I think that's pretty much human logic outside of
You think so?
a few people. Yeah,
Okay,
because a
so
lot of humans don't.
I know
Man,
we don't have a term.
I've seen humans not question a lot of things that they should.
Okay, so I know that we don't have a
Like,
term
why does
for it,
this
right?
milk taste funny? I'm gonna
But
keep
like
drinking it.
that I know a lot of people judge the movies now, but they don't put the same logic of them the old movies they watch. I don't have a term for it. I'm hoping someday scientists will come up with a term like, oh, this is called this, where you
We are
don't
the
use
movie scientists.
whether you don't use modern day logic to whatever. I'm gonna tell you something before we go on, right? Before I go
Okay.
on to I have a parking lot thing that I want to ask you about. I
Okay.
start watching Fast 9, okay, just for the heck of it. So in the beginning, obviously they do these action scenes, right? It's
You
very
know, I'm not even sure if I've seen Fast Nine.
no, I just started watching. It's the new
Oh,
latest one,
okay.
I guess. And
Okay.
I question these action scenes, okay? But like, man, this is impossible, okay? Blah 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 blah. I haven't finished watching it. I had you maybe just the first 20 minutes, right? But then I was talking to Heather, like, hey, you know what's really funny? I saw all these action scenes that I know in my mind is not possible, right? But if I will go back and watch Commando, there's a scene where Arnold just whipped the seat right out of the car with the nuts and bolts and everything. But I don't question that logic because and when I was a kid, I enjoyed it so much. Right? I'm like, oh, I guess it is possible. But if I was to watch the same scene as the age I am now, I'd be like, man, this is speed crap. But I don't put the same logic. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know the scientific term of like when you were young, right? You don't question that. Even though when you're older, because you saw the movie when you were young, you don't still don't question it. But if I'm
Yeah.
watching the movie as the age I am now without watching as a kid, I totally question it. And I don't
Okay.
feel it's fair, okay? That's what I want to point out. So
Okay.
now my parking lot theory. How were you able to do any kind of car at like 90 miles an hour inside a mall parking lot?
I don't know if I should say anything since there's people watching. Yes, they could do stuff at 90 miles an hour in the mall parking lot. Let me go ahead and point that
Because
out.
like, you know, they turn
You
and
can
they
get
have a long
100.
stretch,
I've
right?
been able to get up to 100 miles an hour in the mall parking lot.
Yeah, but then if you keep going, I'm talking about like they spin, like they do maneuvers, so that way he turns, right?
Well,
But
I'm
he
not
was
gonna say I
so
did any maneuvers, but
you know what? I'm just saying that I don't know how
my
big that
my
parking lot
only
is.
maneuvers is when I saw this car was flashing yellow lights coming towards my direction. It's like, it's time to leave.
I guess so. Like when I was watching it the second time this week, I was like, can you do 90, at least almost 90 miles an hour in a mall parking lot?
But what are
Because
we
it's not
talking
a
about?
big parking lot.
Were we talking about related to the Back to the Future?
What do you mean related Back to the Future?
He does maneuvers in a DeLorean in a mall parking lot. Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, of any car.
Okay, yeah. Why can't you?
Because it's not enough long enough for you to hit that fast.
In a mall parking lot?
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on how big the mall parking
I've
lot
jumped
is.
all the way up to 100 in a mall parking lot.
What the heck are you doing driving 100 in a mall
What do you
parking
think
lot?
I was doing? Looking for a place to go 100 miles an hour where we could get in trouble. I'm
I
gonna
guess
say
that
what
would be
mall
better
parking
than
lot
a
I was
highway. I
at.
didn't think about that.
Yes, there's nobody out there. I did it at night. There was nobody out there. Like I said, just a security coming running around the corner when I heard my car
Oh,
go.
that's
Yes, no, you can
interesting.
get to 100 in a mall parking. I already know this is a fact.
Oh,
And of
so I'm
course,
going.
Marty though,
Then I
but you got to
asked you the
remember,
correct
Marty was
question.
also slowing down too, and Marty's car never
Yes.
goes up to 90 really.
No. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
And we also want to point out DeLorean, the original DeLorean. If you look at the original DeLorean's dashboard, it only goes up to 85.
oh, that's right. Yeah. You know what? I saw
They
a video
added in,
recently.
yeah, they added in an insert or another dashboard to make it look like it goes all the way up
It
where
can
they
go
had
to, yeah.
95 on this car.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had a Ford pickup from 80s. It couldn't go past 85. So the way I saw it, if I held the gas down and I got in trouble, I could tell the officer, I'm like, there's no way I was going 100 because,
Because my dash doesn't even go that high.
yeah, it only goes to 80, sir.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. You know, I thought about like, hey, if the DeLorean wasn't available at the time, what other car could they have gone with? Because at that time, the DeLorean was the only kind of car that looked like that. Not even to care about the how
No,
the door
they had
looks.
there was another car that looked like that from
What?
Canada. It didn't do very
Oh, from
good.
Canada, and maybe that's the
Yeah,
reason why.
there's
Huh?
another sports car. And then the only other sports cars you could probably find is what Lamborghini stuff. Man, they could have did an MR2.
Ooh, MR2. Was it even popular in the States in the 80s?
The DeLorean wasn't popular in the States, so what are you talking about?
Huh, that's true. I guess
Yeah,
they
the
want to make
DeLorean.
something.
The DeLorean was hey, we started this in the 70s. They didn't do the DeLorean was a fizzle. DeLorean's only
Oh.
popular now. The DeLorean is like the most popular sports car now in our time because we're grown up and we can actually go buy one.
So you're saying, well, yeah. So you're saying that if it wasn't for this movie, the DeLorean might not as be popular as
I
it
am
is today.
exactly saying that.
Yeah, saying that, right?
I mean,
Okay.
even the stuntmen that made this movie, they're like, what a piece of crap. I know the car wasn't very fast at all.
No, it's not right, and also very
And if you
noisy.
got an accident, the doors got stuck constantly. The car wasn't made out of stainless steel. It was made out of fiberglass with stainless steel panels glued onto it.
Wait, say it again. It's not made of.
The car is not a
steel.
stainless steel
It's
car.
fiberglass.
It's fiberglass with
Okay.
stainless steel panels glued onto the fiberglass.
Oh, this is sound like it's very solid.
It had a
It's
little
just-
tiny window that you couldn't even get a pizza box through.
Yeah, you can tell the windows are small.
And it had, I mean, and the problem is it may have did better. It had a Renault motor in it, so the motor wasn't really powerful. I mean, of course, you can take DeLorean makes still there's the DeLorean's still around. Okay, let's put it that way. They have a shop. They'll rebuild the cars for you, and they could put a Toyota motor in it. It makes the car way much faster and better than.
Really? So you could change the
80s.
motor.
But you
in
gotta
the engine.
remember, yeah, you can change the engine out.
Oh.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Wait, is it weird? This is a mid engine, right? Car.
Yeah, this is.
That's what I
I
remember.
think it's the mirror engine.
Because I think they
opened.
opened the trunk in the front in one of
Yeah,
the
you open the
scenes,
trunk. Yeah, the trunk is in the front, and your engine's in the rear. And I think it does sit behind the axle.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's why all the stuff is built towards the back of the car.
Yeah, because they just took out the back windows, and then added all that garbage that makes it look like it's a time
I know.
machine.
Isn't that
shouldn't say
little
that.
hubcap? Whatever that not Mr. Fusion, that plutonium went down in is
Yeah.
from a hubcap from a Dodge, right? I can't remember.
I don't know. They
Oh,
had a
okay.
lot of parts because they actually went and got parts from this place that like sewed space equipment and so forth. Just
Oh, just to
extra
make this.
prototypes and stuff. Yeah, they just went in there and bought a whole bunch of stuff, glued it on the car.
Hey, you know what? The first time I ever seen this movie, right? I was still in Hong Kong. I haven't moved here yet. Who would know? Who knew that when I moved here, right? That's the chance I get to see the sequels in the U.S.
In the U.S.
This is crazy
in the
because this
future.
movie came out in 1985, and the sequels didn't come out
Yes.
until 91.
Yeah, it
91,
took a long time to
92,
get
yeah.
a movie. And they almost did never make one. And I remember we questioned, did we question the last scene of the movie where Doc Brown shows up and says something's wrong with your kids. Marty,
Okay,
let's get in
yeah.
the car
So
and go.
let's talk about the second.
That was
like-
always part of the movie. That was always part of the movie.
Oh, that
in the
was?
script and everything. Yep, that was not
Oh.
added later.
So
that
they
was
didn't
always
think
there.
about planning a sequel. It's just something cool
Nope.
to show.
There's
No,
something to
it
show,
makes
and
sense.
just,
Yeah.
that way you leave the theater dreaming of another one.
Oh, that's
You
how
know,
they
that doesn't
sold
make
it
any
back then.
sense. Like I pointed out, I mean, you're in a time machine, okay? Somebody comes from the future to tell you to fix something in the future. Why don't you just fix it right then? And he goes, hey, your kids are buttholes or something like that. All they need to do is make a note and write it down. They'd be like Doc Brown. So what age group does my kid start being a butt? And then that's when you ground your kid right there. That way, problem solved. You don't even have to travel the future. You can do it right there.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wrote something
Anything
here.
that needs to be fixed in the future should be fixed right then. Don't drive to the future to
I
fix
think
it.
there's a line in here that remind me of Star Wars because I put it in quotes. I put, Doc, you're my only hope.
Yep, I remember that, and I saw that too. And I thought that when I saw that, there's been a lot. I think there's a lot of little movie quotes that
Oh well,
pop in.
they reference like Planet Vulcan and Darth
Well, I
Vader.
love that because that's a
That's like,
ultimate mashup. Because he says like I'm Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan.
I'm
Plus he
from
gets the
Darth Vader
symbol
from Planet
planet
Vulcan.
Vulcan. And plus he's got an Eddie Van Halen
He playing
music
Van
playing.
Halen music.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, 80. I don't know. I just enjoy. I guess I do enjoy every
But I
part
mean,
of this
they
movie.
put a lot of gags. This is a pretty good comedy movie because I mean, like what you're wearing.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that's a life preserver, even though it's
Yes.
just.
They thought he was
And then, of
working with a
course,
coast.
plus the
Coast
drinks
Guard.
of the time. The drinks of the time was
Yes.
it, which doesn't make sense to me now. You think about it. It's called
What?
Diet Pepsi Free.
Well, he said
Or
Pepsi free.
I think it's called a Pepsi Free. But remember, you
It's
asked the
just
guy,
Pepsi,
"Hey,
no sugar.
yeah, can I have a Pepsi Free?"
Yeah,
And he goes,
Pepsi
"Hey,
wanna
bud."
pay for it.
Yeah, and of course they do Tab.
Yes. What
Which
is
I think is
Tab at back
interesting.
then? Like, you could just open
Tab
up
was
a
a
tab.
diet. No, Tab. Yeah, Tab. If you open a tab, we got tabs today. If you go to
Yeah,
a bar,
but
you
then
open a tab.
yeah, but that's
the
what
tab
I'm
was also
familiar
a
with,
drink.
just in the
Okay,
bars
yeah.
though, but
You
not
can
in
have a
a
tab
diner
anywhere.
like a
You
cafe
can open a
like
tab.
that.
You open a tab in a diner.
Oh,
You
I
open a
never.
tab, and then you later on order pie and all that other stuff. Put that on a tab. You ever heard that?
No. I had never
Oh,
heard that.
I guess it's probably maybe it's a small town thing. I don't know. Because I can go to a store. If the people know you there, you can open a tab and just buy stuff.
Oh,
And then at the very end of the day, come in and have somebody close your tab out with them. You go in and buy some pipe, go back home, work on it, come back in, buy some bolts and more pipe. And then later on at the end of the day or the next week, close your tab out.
oh, so instead of paying, oh, you know what? I had never done that. I
Oh,
I mean, I know the concept, but it's just not that to that
well,
extent.
nowadays a lot of people steal or don't pay their tabs. That's why we don't have tabs at a lot of
Yeah,
places.
and then
But
that's what
in
it
the
is.
old days, in the
People
early
take
days,
advantage. Yeah.
because I want to point out, it's like when he goes back to 55, the gas station. You saw him you see the Texaco station.
Yes.
Cars pull in there. You see those guys wearing
Oh, the
suits
attendants.
around.
Yes.
You knew that. You ever seen that?
Not here in Asian countries.
We used to have that here. Actually, I saw it when I was a kid. It was up until I was a kid. There were some stations that still did that. You
Ooh.
pull in, they walked out, washed out your windows, put gas in your car.
I think
Sure.
ever since I came here, it's all self-serve.
Yeah, now it kind of went out in the 80s here. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's what.
And I'm
that
sure
makes
it's
sense.
probably long gone on a lot of places, but now here it went out in the 80s. I mean, there was still one guy running a station. He still did it.
Oh wow, that must be. Is that something that you had to tip back then too, or because it was just their job?
I don't know. I guess you
Oh.
could tip if you wanted to, but I mean, it was part of the setup. Yeah. And then
Oh.
also that other thing where you stand there holding the bottle. He's got that bottle,
Yes, the glass
and he's
bottle.
trying to pull on it, which didn't make any sense to me because he's supposed to be. I mean, at 85, he would have been older than me.
Yeah.
And at 85, I would have known that you're supposed to put it in the bottle opener and open it.
Wait, why was he trying to twist
I
it
don't know.
open? Did they
It
have
didn't
that?
make any sense to me because yes, when I was a kid, all the bottles you pop the lids open, and then my parents would take the bottles and get the money back for them.
Yeah, exactly. I had never seen a twist top until I was an adult.
Why was he trying to twist the top off? I
Huh.
mean, for somebody that's supposed to be from that time, I mean, I'm like, what's going on with you, Marty? Are you just that stupid?
Hey, it is pretty heavy, okay? I love that.
Heavy.
I was
No,
going to
they-
ask you that.
heavy,
Is this
isn't it?
something they said back in the 80s?
I guess
'Cause
it
I
is.
never knew. Oh, okay,
I
you
remember
didn't
I
know
was
either.
pretty young, but yeah, heavy was a big deal.
Huh. Interesting. I just
It
never
did
knew
say
where it
heavy.
came from.
Yeah, I think that was a deal. The saying that's things that kids say. I mean, we always got stuff like right now. What is it? That's so lit.
That's lit, yeah.
I want to
But
light you on
I
fire.
really like I really like when I really like when Marty first showed up back to the high school in the 50s. Like, wow, they really cleaned this place up.
Yeah,
That's what it's supposed to look like. And I like
Yeah.
the first time he's like, oh, that's really heavy. That one weight has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I know. Well, he says it the whole movie, and of course, Doc
It's
Brown's like, what
that's
is
a word
going
again,
on?
heavy.
I also like it when he wears the suits, where he's got the radiation suit. What are you wearing? He goes, the radiation suit. He goes, oh, that makes sense from all the atomic wars.
Yes, atomic wars, yes.
Or the president, because he even points it out, when he first goes back in time, it shows the movie theater playing a Ronald Reagan movie.
Yes, I thought it was
When this movie
so
come out,
cool.
Ronald Reagan was the president of the United States.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And of course, he goes, no wonder that you have a movie star for a president. You gotta look good.
You gotta
on
look
TV.
good. I love it too when he asked him where Doc lived, like where Riverside Drive. He's like, oh, it's just 2 blocks down that way. Like, oh, so it's past John F. Kennedy. Like, who the hell is John F. Kennedy?
But that's a good scene when he's sitting around with the family because you got to
Yes.
keep in mind that's all his uncles and
Yes.
And
Oh,
then
his
those are
uncles
his
and aunts.
grandparents.
Hey,
And
I
his
want to point out
grandparents.
one of the uncles was in Wonder Years.
Yes, we went over that last time we did
I
this.
know, I remember that part. I always have to point it out.
Well, we might as well go and point out it was the original Wonder Years, by the
Yeah,
way, not
yeah,
the
because that's a new
not the
Wonder Years
remake of the
now.
Wonder Years,
It's
since
just really
we're
funny.
in a time when everything's a remake.
The first time when we talk about this remake wasn't even here. The Wonder Years,
Yeah.
but
Well,
now
here's
it
the funny
is.
thing. Here's the funny thing, because he explains to the kid. He goes, I saw that. The kid goes, how did you see it? It's brand new. And he
Yes,
goes,
Brandon, what's a
it was a
rerun?
rerun. Now they could make it where they ask, what do we call it?
What?
What's a remake?
Oh, what is a remake?
It's a remake.
Oh, we fun when we run it. Oh, I don't know.
Rerun. What's a remake? Because we make remake. That's all we do now. We don't have reruns. We have remakes there.
Oh, we boot.
But actually, I just like the scene though, because Lorraine, the mom, his
Yes,
mom,
Lorraine.
she's
Yeah.
in love with him. He leaves. He's like, man, that's such a weird kid. He goes, he's a moron. The
Yeah, you have a
grandfather's
kid
like, he's
like
a
that. I would
moron.
disown you.
You disown you. What she does. It's her kid.
So it's
You're a
really
kid
funny.
that, I
Like
would disown you.
even that scene was like I never seen purple underwear before. Like I didn't even notice that that he was really wearing purple underwear. Was it I didn't even know it was a popular thing back then to wear a different color underwear that is not white.
Going
Back
in
in
the
the
old days.
80s. Yeah.
I bet. What do you mean in 55?
85. Like he wore those
What do you mean?
underwear back.
Well, yeah, but in 85 people wore different stuff.
Oh, I guess 55 is more.
I mean, come
like
on, he's
all
wearing Calvin
whiteys.
Klein clothes. Yeah.
Yes, Calvin.
He's
What did
kind
you
of
call
wearing
me, Calvin?
he's kind of wearing fancy clothes, for 85 he wore fancy clothes.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Because I think he's wearing Guess jeans, dude.
I know, right? From a family that works like like that. Like, where does he get money for?
Yeah,
Guess
the
jeans?
mall. He got it where everybody else got it in the 80s.
Just the
The
mall.
mall. The mall. Everyone went to the mall. I mean, I remember my cousins having stuff like that.
I just want to give props to Michael J. Fox for with these long schedules. Shooting
Yeah.
at night and then shooting in the daytime. I think all the daytime scenes were shot on the weekends for him.
Yeah, they're shot still. Yeah,
In the
that mainly
studio.
his stuff was shot still, and then they kind of got on the end of it. He just lucky got this role because we pointed out it was Eric Stoltz actually got the role.
Yeah, so I was looking into that, right? Like they said that it was almost 90% shot. That
No,
the
it was
producer.
no, halfway
see,
shot.
that's what they said. That's what they said. Like that's what it is, halfway shot, right? But then when they talked to the people who actually made the movies, like they said, like no, most of the movie was shot. So what happens when Michael J. Fox came in? A lot of the scenes where you just saw the angles of himself, right? He did those by himself. And on the reaction shot, if you don't see Michael J. Fox in there, it's Eric. Those people are responding to Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, almost everything is everybody's responded to Eric Stoltz, almost all the stuff.
Yes.
The only shots it was a shot, but the problem is it was like a 12-week shoot.
Mm-hmm.
6 weeks in, they replaced Eric Stoltz.
Wow.
6
Oh,
weeks
but you know what? 6 weeks in, that's the mean.
But that's the thing. Yeah,
but that's not saying
in the middle.
like they probably shot most of his stuff in the 6 weeks.
They shot most of his stuff in the beginning. Yeah, almost
Yeah.
everything was Eric Stoltz, and then there was also a lot of the stuff. But they went back. But you got to think all the beginning shots. The very first shot of the movie was also the very last shot of the movie.
Yes.
Almost the last shot of it.
Because they probably shot in the parking lot.
Yeah, the very first shot of the movie was him falling out of the tree.
Oh, Joe! I mean,
getting hit with the car. That was the first shot in the movie. And then when Michael J. Fox came in, they had to do that near the end. And also the second shot was probably, when Crispin Glover is putting all the clothes on the wire, hanging up the clothes, and he's telling them about dating his mom.
Yes.
That was also that day too.
So
they had to come back and put Marty back in that too. But in the middle, they did that. And the thing is, though, when they decided to replace him, well, they actually wanted Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, because he couldn't do it. Yeah.
He couldn't do it because of family ties.
Yep.
And the thing is, here's the neat thing. When they finally decided that Eric Stoltz wasn't working, they still shot a whole week with him, but they slowly cut him out.
Wow.
They were shooting every time they had, because the last week of Eric Stoltz last week was when they were shooting the scene with him with the video recorder with the fire going between his feet.
Really?
And the cameraman could not figure out, because when they kept the shooting, they go, okay, we're going to put it on Eric Stoltz. They're like, no. They go, well, you need a shot, Eric Stoltz. They go, no, just keep it on Doc Brown.
Huh. Oh, interesting.
They shot that whole deal, and then when they finally they talked and got Michael J. Fox in, they just come up. They told here's a funny story. Well, they told him he's done, and Michael J. Fox came in like the next week.
Wow.
and started filming at the mall. They stopped at the mall and then started back up at the mall and went backwards again.
Did I talk about this last time? Because I can't remember when I
No,
watched
we
it on YouTube.
didn't. We didn't
Oh,
know
no,
all.
not what you said. Like what I said about the character who played Christopher Lloyd and the guy who plays Biff. Did I talk about that, the interview experience that they had?
No.
So they found out Eric Stoltz got fired, right? And then the producers went and got Christopher Lloyd and the guy who plays Biff, right, in the office. So they were both wondering, like, oh man, what's going on? Did we know Eric Stoltz just got fired? Are we next? So they go in, right, all scared, like, hey, so we had to let Eric go, and they're like, oh my god, they're gonna fire us. Because they know that at that point the movie's
I didn't
finished,
hear this.
right?
I got a different story.
No, I watched the interview. So
I got it from the book.
Yeah. So who was the play Biff? What's his name? Not Crispin. Oh, they don't have it in Wiki. I want to say his name correctly. The guy who plays Biff. What was the actor's name?
Give me a second.
Let's see. Oh, Thomas Wilson.
Okay, Thomas Wilson.
So Thomas Wilson was giving this story, right, with Christopher Lloyd sitting next to him. He was like, man, are we next with it? They thought they were going to get fired. So they explained the whole thing, we're bringing a new actor in. Eric Stoltz is out. This is how we feel the direction of our movie. We wanted Michael J. Fox the whole time. And this is what Thomas Wilson was asking, like, so you want us to reshoot all the scenes? Like, well, not all of them, just, the ones that you have interaction with the Marty McFly character. And this is what he asked. So we still get paid, right? That's why I saw from the interview with him.
Okay, yeah, that's the way he told the story. But in the book, it tells a different story. But here's the funny thing: because when they fired Stoltz, Robert Zemeckis talked to him in his trailer.
Oh, yeah, I think it was Robert Zemeckis. Yeah,
they sent another guy of the production to go talk to Chris Lloyd, who was in his trailer at the same time.
Oh, it's okay, but they're still at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, they did this all at the same time. And then they told the crew the whole story. That way, nobody thought they were getting fired.
I know.
But here's the neat story, though. When Eric Stoltz started on this movie, he had several demands.
Oh,
his
really?
one demand was he stays in character. Everybody calls him Marty.
That's
one
right.
person will call him Eric.
I saw that too. He's a Methodist actor. Like the other actors talk about him too.
And exactly, and he kind of was. That's why he kind of butted heads with the director all the time, because he's just like, why would Marty do this? Why would Marty do that?
Yeah.
Why would Marty do this? And the director's like, just act. But anyhow, everybody had to call him Marty constantly. So they went to Christopher Lloyd's trailer and sat down and goes, okay, Eric's out. We're gonna get Michael J. Fox in, but everything will be good. You go, you're not going to shoot all your stuff. He's trying to talk to him, and they said that Christopher Lloyd sat there for a little bit. He goes, "Who's Eric?" He's like, "It's Marty." And he goes, "Oh, Marty." He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna let go him." He goes, "Oh, well, I was assumed that his name was Marty since everybody already called him Marty."
That's right.
Goes,
I seen that part too.
Yeah, he goes, and I thought y'all just got lucky by hiring a guy who had the same name as the character.
Yeah, no, it was in the same interview. Like Christopher Lloyd talked about that. Yeah, that's why I remember. Like he's a method actor, and like, did you ever watch those scenes that on YouTube between Eric Stoltz and Michael J. Fox?
I haven't.
Okay, so obviously, just even the same scenes, they look the same, right? Marty has that comedic feel to him, even though it lines with no lines. It's that the facial features is better for Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, well, that's what they say in the book, that they could just look at Eric Stoltz and it was just too.
He's too serious.
Standoffish.
Yeah, he's too serious for a movie with this kind of tone. Yeah.
What do you think if Eric Stoltz was in the movie? Do you think this would have been as popular as it was?
It probably won't be as fun.
You're probably right. It probably wouldn't be as fun.
I think this is my first time travel movie ever. It's probably a lot of people's.
This is my first time travel movie. Yeah, this is probably a whole generation's first time travel.
Yeah,
movie,
because probably mostly in our generation, right? I mean, like there's people like
the
Time Machine.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about our generation.
Oh, our generation.
That was what I was talking about. Yeah, I wasn't talking about the other ones because they had the Time Machine.
This is what got me into loving time travel so much. Ever since I was a little kid.
It got me very interested.
Oh, this is what got me very interested.
I mean, come on. I remember when this came out. I guess my dad taped it off of HBO on a cassette tape. We watched that so much, we wore the tape back out.
Yeah, see, my cousin got it. I remember watching this the first time, right? And then I wanted to rewatch it because once you find out it's a time travel movie, right? You have to go back and rewatch it.
Well,
I was
I
probably
guess I could say
6 at
this.
that time.
I'd say this is actually my first geek movie in a way.
6 or 7. Oh, first
I'm gonna
geek
say this is
movie,
my
right?
first geek movie, and I'm gonna say that because after watching this movie, you would that's one of those movies where you'd say all the lines over and over again. You watch it constantly,
Yes.
constantly, constantly. And
See,
then that's not the only thing. I actually started dressing like Michael J. Fox. I had
no
a white
way.
shirt with red lines, squares on it, like he had.
Yeah.
I had a blue jean jacket, blue
And
jeans, and
the server.
I had to go get the suspenders. I didn't have the server though, but I had to get the
Oh,
suspenders. So I started wearing suspenders for a little
that's
while.
so
I
cool.
thought that was cool. I wasn't, but I thought it was.
And that was the first movie that I like. I started liking trucks, the Toyota 4x4.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was impressed with the DeLorean.
Oh, I mean, but
I didn't care,
obviously with the
but
DeLorean,
the Deer, all right. The Toyota truck was cool.
the truck was cool, because he was into
Truck
it.
was cool. Yeah,
You
it
know,
was cool.
gosh, imagine just because just because of this movie got us so interested in time travel and all the other debates that we ever had in our 20s.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty. It was. I don't know. I'd say it affected our childhoods pretty big.
Yeah, I wanted to
I'd
point
say it
out.
almost had a bigger effect in Star. I love Star Wars too. I mean, Star Trek I watched and I loved Star Trek too, but I
Mhm.
wasn't a Star Trek fan
Yeah,
until later on.
you
Star
know,
Wars I was had all the toys, but I remember almost thinking, man, if Execution is almost just way much better.
hey, I'm just lucky that my cousin showed me this movie because I watched it from VHS too, but like obviously it's not dupe or anything, right? I don't think I ever watched anything dupe into Cantonese from any American movies. It's always subtitled.
Okay.
So I don't think I ever seen one, but it's not like that for Americans, right? Americans always want to watch it like a dubbed version, or, because they don't want to read subtitles. I guess it's not a popular
I
thing.
don't know. I think it's changed now. It
Oh
depends on
yeah,
how
it depends on who
it
the
depends, it
individual
depends
is.
on how snooty you are. The snooty you are, then you'll be like, yeah, I watched it with subtitles.
Is that
I
what
don't.
you call it?
But to be honest
I
with you, I don't
thought
want to watch the
Snoop.
dub movie. I
I
don't
see.
like to watch.
I think the opposite. I thought like if you're Snoop, right, then you want to watch the dupe version.
Here's the sad thing to tell you the truth about Americans. I don't
Yes,
want to watch a
please.
foreign movie. I don't want to watch a foreign movie. To be honest with you, I don't want to watch a foreign movie. You know why?
Because
Because
no.
I don't want to watch dubbed. I won't watch dub. I'll read subtitles.
Oh, I thought you
I don't
meant
like
I thought you
because
meant it the other way.
yeah, because if you hear their voice when I watch it and they get like some kind of voice that doesn't match their character, that match their face or match their voice moves, it just annoys me. But I don't really want to watch subtitles either. So most often, I don't watch foreign movies.
Oh, so that's
I
why.
won't watch foreign movies. I almost yeah, they're like
So
the only thing that I watch that's foreign is maybe since I've been hanging out with you, I watch some Chinese stuff. It's got to be like race cars and stuff, like
like
cars and
initial
stuff.
D.
Yeah, Initial D. I watched that, and what was that? There was one other one I loved. It was dubbed.
Really?
It was all subtitles. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I wish I could remember the title. It looked like it
What
had
was
a
it
two in it,
about?
but it wasn't a sequel or anything. I was about this guy a racer. He's from Hong Kong, and when they go race, he'd break people's legs and stuff. Then he had to go
Oh,
run away to the Philippines. You remember this
that's
one?
an old movie.
Yeah, he could go to the Philippines to find his dad because his dad thinks his dad's not his dad's name what Black Tom or something.
Oh, I want to
So he
say.
learns to race all over. What was that movie? That is a good man. I love
Oh,
that.
ooh, I want to say it's the early '90s. Now I can't remember what
Oh,
it
it
is,
is
but
early '90s because it was Mitsubishi Evo versus Subaru,
oh, no, that's an old movie.
and the guy was like some kind of guy gets out of jail.
So you are the kind of character, or not the character, right? You're the kind of person that America do remakes of foreign films for.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all of America.
Yeah,
Honestly, it
yeah,
is.
it's
I
all of
mean, come on.
America because like
Well,
the
wait, come on,
Departed,
because
The
maybe it's
Eye,
arrogant. Yeah, maybe it's
Vanilla
arrogant.
Sky.
Yeah, well, Vanilla Sky probably still kind of sucks.
I'm talking about like
But
it's a remake of another foreign
yeah,
film.
yeah, I know what you're getting at. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've already named them all. I get it, but I'm like to
See,
us,
you know what's
it's
really
like
funny? I don't care whether as because I came from even from Hong
because you come
Kong
from
main
another
movies,
culture.
right? Even in Hong Kong main movies, there's always subtitles. Even if we
Oh,
speak the
okay.
language, because I think in Hong Kong movies, right? Ever since even in the theater, they'll always have the Chinese subtitle and English subtitle playing all the time. I never seen a
Okay.
movie when I was young. It was just the motion picture without
Really?
words. Never.
Yeah,
It
no.
didn't do that until I came to the States.
Wow, yeah, because when I'm watching a movie, you better not have anything written on the bottom.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, unless they're speaking another language. In
Yeah,
the
unless
American
they're speaking
movie,
another
yeah.
language, because obviously I don't know that.
That's
Because
very
I'm
interesting.
American.
I
I mean,
wonder if this is the only
it's just
country that does that.
it may be because I mean, Americans, with the way we see it, it's like you either speak our language and we just don't care. Because you hear other people go, well, where you hear these people speaking foreign language in the background. They're like, "Are you worried they're talking about you?" I'm like, "Who cares? They can't speak English."
It could work both ways. I could be talking about them too, but there's a great
Yeah,
chance that they might
exactly.
understand. So let me tell
Yeah,
you
they
something.
probably will understand me because I'm American.
My kids were in soccer camp this week, right? And in the soccer camp, they actually flew people from Europe and other countries to coach the kids playing soccer. There was a
No.
couple of dudes from Ireland, right? There was like few of them, at least two or three. Dude, their accents when they speak English, it was awesome. I feel like I was in a James Bond movie. Like, but they're not old though. Like, they're like
Oh, we
kids.
hear the James Bond. James Bond's English.
No, no, no. I'm talking like because they go to Ireland,
Yeah,
those
no,
places,
I'm
Scotland,
gonna
right?
give you a hard
There
time.
was
I'm
one
just gonna give you a
Scottish
hard time.
guy, like an Australian guy, like a couple of people from England, but these three Ireland kids, their accents were all different. One
Hey, I got
was
one problem.
kind
I
of
got one
thick.
problem with this.
Yeah.
What, Americans aren't good enough?
Oh, I would feel that those countries are better at soccer.
Oh, I'm hurt. What kind of American are you? What kind of American are you?
A naturalized one.
Exactly. You haven't been taught right yet.
We're talking
But
about.
anyways,
I
what's
love
your story?
Mexican food.
Anyways, but yeah, but the Mexican food that we like is actually American.
Oh no, I'm talking about like actual Mexican food, not the Tex-Mex stuff. I
You like
actually, you know what?
menudo?
I just love to eat. So
You like
saying Mexican
so,
food, you don't
so
need
what
to
are you
put an
telling me?
adjective in front
So
of
you
it.
like to eat menudo?
I haven't tried menudo yet, but probably will.
Oh,
Because in Chinese people, we have something similar.
oh really?
Yeah,
You
we
like
eat
cow's
like
stomach too?
we eat. Oh yeah, I eat. You know what? I eat intestines quite a bit actually, cow intestines and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
we
Oh,
serve it, so I probably like menudo.
you
Depends on
probably
the
do.
sauce, but you know what? I don't care. You know, I like to eat. I'm going to
Yes.
try it. Okay. I
Okay.
told
Well,
Heather all
I'll
the
do that.
time, if I ever go to Australia, I'm going to eat a kangaroo steak.
If I go to Australia, I'll eat a kangaroo
See,
steak
I'm
too.
going to help with. Hey, you know what? They have a problem over there. They serve it. That's why they serve it. Like, oh, I'll help you with this problem.
Yeah, why not? I
You know
I'm
what?
all in the.
From what I read about kangaroo, they're jerks. Okay. So I'm going to eat them. I seen those videos where those kangaroos are beating up dogs. I seen those. All right, I might not be going to go now, but I have my flux capacitor here. Okay, you see this?
Yeah, I see that. That has nothing to do with time international
And my
travel.
and my
That's
stupid space book from Marty McFly. I mean George
yeah,
McFly.
that's not going to help
I
you.
got it. Okay,
I think
I'm
I think Australian customs is going to hold you.
flux capacitor.
There's some
It
China.
is a
There's some.
cool light though.
You know what you're gonna do? They're gonna hold you at the Australian border. They go, I think we got a Chinese spy coming in. He's acting like he's American, but he's not.
It's
He's
American. It's
acting
not.
kind of like he's a geek.
How American can I? How do you act American? Like, what is that thing from Godzilla? You just chew gum.
But,
Hey.
yeah, I guess you do because that's you come to.
All right. So now I wanna I put on a rant out there. You know how Doc Brown is always like, "Don't tell me too much about the future. Don't tell me too much about the future." And I'm thinking like, Marty showing up here in a DeLorean should have blown that out of the
Yeah.
proportion.
Plus, you're watching a what's that? A little video camera.
Yeah, see everything that Marty
He
bought
has
with him
he has a Walkman.
is already over the line. Him telling you a little bit more is just minor stuff
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It
Because
is
like if
silly.
you think about it, he talks about that, right? Like, well, he even Doc Brown even say like, "Oh, I finally made something that works." That's the same thing as like whatever Marty want to tell you, just let him do it. Because
Yeah,
like you making a time machine, that's the thing that should have blown him out of proportion.
yeah. But he didn't believe it at first.
Yeah, he didn't believe it until he saw a video of
Yeah,
himself.
it took him a long time
I was
to
gonna
believe
ask
it.
you, like, I know, well, I don't know, well, I know how AV works, right? I didn't even know they could get lines from 1955 with work with 1985 stuff. You know how like how to hook up the, I guess the UHF line, but it's probably like AV, I mean, composite component lines.
Can't remember what the back of the TVs have because I don't know how far back it goes. But yeah, I mean the older TVs, I know you could hook all that crap up. Because
Did
I've
it?
seen black and white TVs hook VCRs up from the old. I don't know if they're from the '60s or '70s.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if you'd be able to hook up anything from then to the '50s. But I mean, they're at Dark Brown's house, so he probably could have rigged up some. Because I know when I used to play video games, you had to go to Radio Shack to get a little component. that would hook up on the antenna.
Yeah,
You know,
like
it just
a
had a
little
wire on the
thing that
antenna.
you had to.
Yeah, it was a little one here and one here, and then you just stick your lines in it. So most likely Doc Brown had some wires and he just hooked it up to the antenna.
Yeah, the one that you had to get a screwdriver to
Let me
tighten
put
that
it
line
this way.
down. That's how old
It
we
would have
are.
been very easy for Doc Brown to hook that video camcorder up to that television.
You think so? With the video line
Yes,
collection and
it
audio?
would have been simple to him. Wouldn't even thought about it.
You know what? I never actually looked that up. Is it possible? Because
Yes,
there's probably
it's
people
possible.
out there that you're like, you just not possible, whatever.
It is
But
possible.
I
I'm
think
telling
it
you,
is.
it's possible.
It's just
No,
like
it is.
no, it's copper wire. You know, it's just wiring. That's really it.
It is possible.
video
I just told
signal.
you that we did it when I was a kid.
Yeah, but then like
Atari hooked up to one.
okay, yeah,
It
well,
just
yeah,
hooks
but
up
then it
to
was
the antenna.
yeah,
it just
the
goes
old
to the antenna.
TVs because they have the adapters
Yeah.
at that
It
1982
had that screw on the
time.
back. You just kind of pull
But
the
I'm
screw
also
out.
talking about like TVs were new back in the time too. Remember?
Yeah.
They showed that in the movie that it was a brand new
Yeah.
TV.
But you hooked your antenna to the back of the television.
Yes.
So you would just hook that thing into the antenna feed.
No,
No problem.
Was it? It wasn't a VHS camcorder. Right? It was just a camcorder. I can't remember what it
Yeah,
was.
it's just camcorder, but you know, it has the 3 wires.
Yeah.
You just run it into your. Yeah, I don't know why we're making something so difficult. It's not that.
I don't know. I think we're just trying to turn it into something.
You're trying to
difficult, but
find a
that's fine.
problem with that him showing a camcorder on television, but there won't be a problem.
Okay, so you know what? Let me play it this way. Most of our stuff is run on HDMI's, right? How do you have an HDMI connector to our RCA cables?
Well, you got a problem now, but
See, how is that? Right now, I have a problem, but then on this,
well, how
we
you
don't
gonna
have a
do?
problem.
You're gonna rip
That's
off
30 years too. Look, okay,
You're
what
gonna
we just
mess up an HDM cable because you're gonna have to start hooking several wires together. You have to open
Exactly.
up an HDM.
HDMI, yeah, because
I'm
HDMI
about
carries
to yank
audio
this.
and video. 30
Yeah.
years. If I take this back to 1992, you won't be able to hook up an HDMI thing to a RCA.
No, you're right. You won't be able unless you undo the wiring. You'd have to cut the end of the wires out. You'd have to hook several wires together, and then you'd have to put a little
Well, then you
alligator
gotta figure
clip.
that out too.
So,
You gotta figure out which
you think-
audio and which
And
video.
you think Doc Brown couldn't figure that out? He did time travel.
I don't know. It didn't look like that Doc Brown figured it out when in the movie. It looks like Marty was the one who did.
Well, Marty probably already knew how to do it because you got to think TVs from the 55 is going to be around all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a common thing in 85.
Yes. Oh well, we talked about the TV long enough.
Okay, yeah, we're actually just not going anywhere.
Because like if we talk about it, I'm like, wow, they were able to hook up this metal pole straight into the flux capacitor, where a thing that says shield your eyes and from the light. I don't
Yeah.
even know how that works. Like, hey, how do we Jimmy rig that metal pole into the flux capacitor? It's just gonna have to work.
Well,
Don't worry about the
that's,
science from the 80s.
and that's why you need a book like this so you can figure it out.
They didn't have a book like that.
Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm sure he knew what he was doing because remember the original movie, they're supposed to drop an atomic bomb and the car goes in under the atomic bomb and it sends it through time.
Ah.
You know, they had original script. The script that we watch is the fourth
The fourth
fourth
script.
rewrite. Yeah.
Right, the fridge. Yeah, we talked
Because the
about
very
we talked about
first,
the
yeah,
fridge.
because originally it started out with a lead line refrigerator that they
Yes.
pulled around on the back of a pickup truck. And of course, Marty McFly was a video bootlegger.
Really?
Yeah, and of course, Doc Brown's dog was a monkey.
Oh, I remember the monkey part.
And guess what they used for fuel? And they used radiation and Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Because you got to think the script was written for Columbia Pictures, which
So-
at the time was owned by Coca-Cola.
Oh, so they try to do that marketing thing inside. Yes.
Yeah, so
They
when
still
it
do
moved
that
over,
today. What's
they
the
even tried to
difference?
sell it to Disney because
Oh, that's what they tried to sell it to Disney.
yeah, after the two rewrites, Columbia was like, yeah, we're not gonna do this. It doesn't have enough edge on it. So they took it to Disney, and Disney was like, oh no,
Well,
you can't.
because,
this is too...
The Zemeckis and Gale didn't want to work with Spielberg.
Well, they wanted to work with Spielberg, but the
No,
problem
there was a
is
movie that they did
No.
together. It wasn't.
that's
that was
yeah.
a hit.
Here's this. Yeah, well, you're making it sound bad.
No, it's not
No.
bad.
They wanted to work with Spielberg, but here's the problem: they did 2 movies with Spielberg,
Yes.
and both of them flopped.
Yeah, both of them flopped.
He decided when Spielberg liked Back to the Future, he was like, I want to do this. I go, you're a bad omen's basically what they told Spielberg.
Yeah.
They're like, basically they didn't tell Spielberg he's bad. It's like they're nobody and Spielberg's somebody, and it doesn't help them. So Robert Zemeckis directed Romance in the Stone,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I don't think so.
It's got Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner. She's
No.
like it's a romantic movie.
Yeah, I don't think I ever seen it.
I think I've seen the second one. I remember because I watched a lot of crap in the 80s. But anyways, it's like kind of like an Indiana Jones romantic movie.
Ooh.
Actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw it. I think it was okay.
Okay.
But anyway, let's move on.
It's not a big hit from the time. Okay.
It was a big hit in that time.
Oh, it was.
Oh yes, he was huge.
Oh, I thought it wasn't.
This was what made Robert Zemeckis famous.
Oh.
As soon as he made this movie, it made the charts. They told Robert Zemeckis, you can make anything you want to make. So he goes, I'm going to make Back to the Future, and then he called Spielberg and goes, hey, can you help me? Because I'm somebody now. That's the thing. That's the way it worked.
Oh.
So
No, I also read the thing like you did, like Disney turned it down, another studio turned it down.
Well, Disney turned it down. Yes. Well, everybody turned it down before Amblin got interested. Yeah, they said this movie got turned down 40 times.
Wow.
Disney turned it down because they're like, wait. His mom falls in love with him.
Oh yeah, because it's not family friendly. Yep, that's the thing. That's why Disney turned it down.
I'm like, what part of the script did y'all read?
Probably the
yeah. But this is how it happened. But here's another thing that's interesting. No, they went with the DeLorean, okay?
Yes.
But they're also trying to get extra funding, so they put extra companies. But they only put companies in that would look good in the 50s and change in the 80s. You know, you had Burger King, Texaco, Pepsi Cola. And then another company came along, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you $75,000, I think," which is kind of cheap, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Well, what we got to do?" And they go, "Oh, just have Doc Brown change the DeLorean to a Mustang."
Oh,
either Bob Gale or Robert Zemeckis. One of them looked at him and go, "Doc Brown doesn't drive a effing Mustang."
Yes, I read the same thing. Like every Mustang. Yes. So like, it was Ford that was trying to give him. That's why I saw it too.
Yeah, yep. I'm like, well, Ford's kind of cheap.
Yes.
A little stingy. It's like, here.
Yeah, because
they said that they wore Converse. Eric Stoltz's character wore Converse most of the movie, or wore clothes that didn't do that. It wasn't until Michael J. Fox showed up they changed his wardrobe to what you're wearing. And he showed up. He didn't have Converse. He had some Nikes on.
Yes.
And they're like, just go ahead and wear those Nikes.
Oh.
Because they found out, the wardrobe department found out he had those Nikes. They're like, well, we got to go get 35 more pairs of those for you in case they get damaged and stuff. Well, they call up Nike, or they call up the store. They realize, oh, it's discontinued. So they call up Nike. Nike's like, oh, we don't have any more. So Nike made those shoes, 35 pairs, especially for those exact same shoes, just for the deal. And of course, they asked Nike, well, how much do we owe you? Nike's like, it's free.
Oh.
Which is good because it helped. Because I mean, come on, everybody remembers Nike from the second movie.
Yes, I know, definitely.
So it helped Nike. In the long run, Nike.
You can buy those on eBay, by the way, for a very pretty penny.
Well, I got some pretty clean pennies, but I bet you they won't take it. I bet they want some green cash.
They want some hard cash, man.
Yeah, they want some hard
There's
cash.
There's some expensive Nikes out there, okay?
Yeah, I think I'll pass.
You can't even fly for like that. Yeah, everybody remember those Nikes. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, everybody remembers those Nikes. So, in a way, it worked out for them.
So, I read about the 10 interesting things, right? I love Robert Zemeckis, by the way. I think one of my favorite movies is obviously Forrest Gump, and I like The Frighteners a lot because they have to do with spirits and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Frighteners, and I get on that one.
It's not the best movie, but I just enjoy it a lot.
So let me ask you this: What do you like better, Back to the Future or Forrest Gump?
Ooh, those are two different genres.
They are two different genres. Should I even be asking that question? Yeah, no. I am. I'm asking it right now.
I probably like Forrest Gump better.
Really?
Because it tells a better story.
Yeah, it does tell a good story.
Yeah, Forrest Gump tells a better story.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I watched Back to the Future just 2 days ago.
Yeah, I watched Back to the Future. I haven't watched Forrest Gump in a long time. And Forrest Gump is a long movie, too.
It's a long movie. I actually might like Back to the Future more than I like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's a hard comparison.
Forrest Gump tells you a good story. Yeah, but the problem is, one story tells you about some guy's life, and it turns out he has a very good long life. But
Back to the Future tells you about this life too.
Yeah, well, it tells you about his life, but he gets to change his life to make it even better.
Okay, so you know what?
He does.
So, let me go to that.
A lot of people will, because you always get those people who's like, oh, I have no regrets. Good for you, because a lot of people do.
Okay, I just want to say that Robert Zemeckis actually got the idea from checking out his father's yearbook. Did you know? You probably read that, right?
Yeah, well, they thought it out, and it was a long process. This was a long process coming, but slowly certain things because they asked, "Would I be a friends with my father?"
Yes,
And
that's
that,
it. Would I
but
be
they
friends
already
with my father?
knew they wanted to do a time travel. They just didn't have the rest to the story.
Ooh.
Yeah, they already thought about it a long time ago when they were in school about time travel. It's
Yeah.
just, what are we going to do? And then one day they saw that and they're like, we finally got something.
So let me ask you something like with the father's thing. Like, so in this movie, George met Marty when I guess when they go to high school, right? Don't you still kind of remember who you kind of met or not seen in high school? Do
You
you?
would think that. Yeah, I did because I had a small school.
See, oh yeah, that's right. You have a small school.
Yeah, I had a really small school. So
I guess
I remember
mine have
people from
like
a
three,
lot of
four
grades.
hundred. Your high school was how many? Did you say like was it?
In my graduating class, was like 60 people.
Oh, okay, yeah, mine was a lot. Well, I would say a lot bigger. I want to say 300-400. I mean, now it's
Okay,
way
that's a
more
lot.
than that now from a high school. Yeah, 300-400 people.
Yeah, no, there's about 60 people, which I caught that was kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there were 60 people. It was either 40, but I'm not gonna
So
count them out. I really think there's 60.
they're in California, right? In Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's supposed to be set in California.
So I guess in the back then in the 50s wouldn't there still be a lot of people? I guess you can't remember
Depends
everyone.
on
I
how
thought
big the town. I don't remember if we ever see how big the town is.
no. I would assume it's a small town.
It was a pretty big. It's bigger than what the town I came from.
Well, in the
I'd say
50s
it's a
though.
small city. In the 50s, it's probably a small
But
town
the
because I
80
know
in
by the
85
80s,
Marty,
yeah,
yeah, it's a
it's pretty
lot more
big.
people. And I was thinking like, how did George not remember meeting this guy in when he was in high school? I mean, I guess it's only because only been a week.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
only well for us. It is. It's been years. I mean, they had a lot to go. They probably had a lot going on between then and there.
okay.
And so I think you actually forget a lot of what somebody looks like if you don't have a picture.
I actually don't, not from my high
But you got to
school
remember, he was only around Nardi for a
for a
week,
week.
and he didn't see him
Yeah,
every
not every
day.
day. Yeah, like yeah, several
But he did play a big
a
impart.
big part in his role,
But you
meeting
also
his
think
wife.
some people though, when things happen, they forget the people around them and they retell themselves the story and they see it differently.
Oh,
Because
that's
ultimately, he didn't really have he to them he didn't get him in what's her Lane
Lorraine.
Lorraine. Yeah, it wasn't Marty that got
Are
him
you
and
sure you
Lorraine
like
together
this
really.
movie? Her name is Lorraine. Damn it.
Yeah, no. Well, well, the problem is I read the book on the making. Her name changed several times.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, quite a few times.
So let's just call her Lea Thompson.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they got together. The problem is it wasn't really Marty. It was George did it on his own. She was in trouble. He stood up and punched him. I mean, Marty was in the background. They did thank him at the end. They don't remember all that because they were so in love. She was after that. She don't even remember Marty after she saw George.
Hey, you know, this movie was rated PG, right? I was really interested
Because
to see that there was marijuana in this movie. Well, they didn't show it.
reefers, yeah, they
The
said
reefer,
reefers.
yeah. I didn't even know that spook was a was it is that even a racial slur?
Hey, yeah, that
Because
is
they
a
said
race.
it in the movie. Because I was like, when I hear it, right? I was like, is that a racial slur? I'm not even sure. I
Yeah,
know
it's
there's
a
some
racial
other
slur.
ones. I'm surprised they said that in that movie. I guess it's okay back
Why
in the
wouldn't
time.
they? It was way back. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of things. Well, come on, nowadays it's just now that you can't hardly say anything without offending somebody.
Right. But I guess in the
You
movie
know?
it's different though.
Well, no, I'm sure. I'm sure if you go say it right now, people are going to throw a fit. But I
Yeah.
mean, for a while it was okay. You know, I mean, because it's just a movie. It's in the context of the movie.
I was also surprised that they have, I guess, a black band play at a high school, some kind of dance. I thought it would be
I would
all
think
white.
I would think that in the 50s, I think that would be unusual. But maybe in
Oh, it is.
California though.
Oh, maybe. Oh, you know what? Yeah, they are in California, so that's
Yeah,
a
they're in
little
California,
different.
so it may have been a little more acceptable. I mean, I don't think you would have did that in the South.
Yeah, I guess if they make this movie in Texas, latitude is all whites here. Okay.
Yeah, that may not happen.
Because I was thinking like, okay, so you have a black band, right? But there's no black students in
But the
55.
problem is the problem is you had to have black people on that band because it was Marvin Berry's cousin. You couldn't have
Yes.
some white dude go, hey, because it was they're the ones that invented rock. Marvin Berry had more to do with rock and roll than
Yeah. Well,
anybody.
yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
Oh,
would
so
they
I
gonna
like
go, huh?
that. Yeah.
Unless they did, oh hey, cousin Elvis or something like that. But the problem is Elvis didn't invent rock and roll.
Hey, before I
I mean,
forget, I didn't write this down, but I just thought of it, right? I talk about Doc Brown just like the Aunt May effect. the only real person that had the Aunt May effect is stupid Principal Strickland.
Yes,
He looked the same
actually on
from
there.
55 to 85.
And he was supposed to, because remember that was the whole point of the joke.
Yeah, does that
Does this guy never age? Yeah, that's the whole point of the joke.
I like the even of Mickey like, hey, do you want to make him longer? No. No. What is the point? Strickland is Strickland, okay? He's got to shoot Back to the Future, and then a couple of years later, he's going to shoot Top Gun.
But I also want to point out, because we're talking about people getting recast.
Yeah.
The girlfriend
the
was
girlfriend.
recast.
Yes.
Well, actually, it started off with her, too.
What do you mean it started off with her?
The original girl, was it Claudia Wells? Yeah, it started off with
Claudia
her.
Wells.
She was cast in the part, but then they wouldn't let her out of her contract because they renewed her show, or thought they were going to renew her show. So she had to drop out of Back to the Future. Oh. And they hired another actress, which I don't know her name because
I don't know her name, but she was in The Office.
Oh, was she in the?
She plays Jen.
Okay, I know who you're talking. Jen,
yeah.
and we talked about her because she was in.
She was actually Eric Stokes' girlfriend in Back to the Future, but when they recast Eric Stokes, she was too tall for Marty. Oh,
yeah.
For Michael
so
J.
of course, it just happened to luck out that Claudia Wells was free. And she got a role back. Got her part back.
Yes. Wow.
So it's kind of weird how all that stuff works.
Yeah, she's not even a main character. Like, the Jennifer is not a main character because you're only in the beginning.
Not until the second movie.
Didn't they recast her in the second one?
Yes.
Yes, see?
That's how they recast her. Well, that was because Claudia Wells couldn't make it on the second movie by that time. It's been
like 7 years or 6-7 years by that time.
They're lucky they could have got anybody back. Yeah, I'm like, what?
That is true.
Go, well, that's a movie I made like a long time ago. Michael J. Fox, I don't want to do it. Oh, he loved that movie though.
Who didn't love that movie? Back to the Future, out of time.
Man, you would have to be like really a sick person. The only person that probably doesn't like Back to the Future is Crispin Glover.
So let's talk about that.
What a jerk.
Did your book say anything like, there's so many conflicting stories, right? But I don't know who to believe. Like, the studio said, he wanted more money or whatever. But he said that he didn't like the ending.
Well, that's for the second movie. I didn't read anything on the second movie since we're not going to discuss the second
No, not the second movie. Even on this one.
I don't know. He
didn't like the ending for Back to the Future.
Oh, he didn't like the ending? No, who cares?
That's what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, that's his opinion. That's good. He was in it. He could see his opinion.
Well, he said that he didn't like the future thing about. He didn't think that it should be rewarded like monetarily.
Oh, okay. I remember they said that. That was like, I guess he didn't really have a problem with the ending, but he did have this little problem because he wanted to do his own thing.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, he went over that. When they said that, he said, "Oh, look at that." So I guess that means money because of the way the set looked and everything. He goes, money shows that means more money makes more happiness equals more.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's true. Like,
and they try to explain it to him. They're trying to explain it to him. They go, no, that's not part of the whole deal. It just means that he was a little more successful because he finally stood up and made his own path.
And I feel like he's more confident. Like George McFly became more confident at that point. I don't think it's money either. Yeah,
it's not. It's confidence, and it's just trying to show his success. I mean, of course, he got a BMW and stuff like that and furniture. But the problem is, they said he showed up on the set wearing these really, really crazy looking fancy clothes.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, that is not your wardrobe. We want you to look like a normal guy."
I'll say, okay.
And then, of course, he tried to get Lea Thompson to support his idea, and nobody on the set wanted to support his idea.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this now. So obviously, when George stood up to Biff, right? Everything changes. I'm surprised that Marty still lives in that same house. You know what I'm talking about? And it's so funny, like obviously when he said I got all the time in the world, he go back 10 minutes, right? And when he got to the mall, it's just Lone Pine Mall instead of Twin Pines Mall.
Yeah, because he hit that tree.
He hit that tree, right? Which is really funny. So at that time that Marty he came back to, we already talked. I think we kind of touched on it, but I guess
no, we didn't. But I was waiting for the part where I could actually tell the whole deal. Now,
okay, good. So
time travel.
So now that Marty has never came across Twin Pines Mall, so he's not actually going. He's actually going to a different timeline than the original one that he was.
That's the thing. Yeah, they never pointed this out. They could actually come back and get this on a movie. This movie is 2 timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, when he goes back to the future, well, actually. The alternate timeline starts as soon as he time travels to 1955.
Back too fast, yep.
Yep, and then he stays in that timeline all the way to his future.
Yes, he never got back to his original time.
He never got to his original time. So in the original time, Marty, and Doc Brown are presumed dead.
Yes,
But all they would ever found was Doc Brown's dead body,
but not Marty's.
and never recovered the car, the plutonium, or some of the plutonium, or him.
Yes, there's a timeline without Marty. I
There's
highly
a
agree.
timeline without Marty and stuff, and everybody's life went on the same. Biff still bullies his family around. Car's still
Yes.
wrecked. The girlfriend doesn't have a boyfriend no more.
Yep. But
So,
it's so
so the
funny that
thing
we
is, so
mentioned
we
this.
leave. Yeah, that's the thing. We leave this movie going, oh yes, everything's great and all this good, but actually, in the other timeline, it is not.
Oh, I'm so glad we talk about this because I thought
Because
about that a
if
lot.
you're to see this other timeline, it's horrible.
Yes, how the true ending of the original Back to the Future
Yeah,
timeline. Yes,
yes. Because in this movie,
Doc
and I mean, we
Brown
keep
dies.
hearing Doc Brown wondering about the time continuum because he never accounted that you're an alternate
So
reality. So
alternate
the Doc Brown
reality.
we
Yeah.
see, yeah. So that's the thing. The alternate reality is not just when as soon as he gets in the 1950s, you got to think Doc Brown goes ahead and can see he can build a time machine, so he knows how to build the time machine now.
Yes, he
So the time
probably
machines
built
would
it a
spin
lot
out the
faster.
same. The Pine deal changed. The DeLorean probably changed a little bit because he could see what problems he was going to have.
You know, if we dig this
But with his
into
ideas,
deep,
though, he
right?
tried to keep everything the same. Doc Brown had to try to keep everything the same, but he had to build the car because he only saw what it looks like.
Yes. So you know what? Actually, you know, we talk about his siblings disappearing in the picture, right? I bet you, like, once he
That's
gets
the
to
only
the
part
new
it wouldn't have.
timeline, that picture might not even been taken.
Should never have been taken.
Yeah, it should never have been taken, like, because they could have gone to a different place instead of
Well,
where they were going.
that's all. Their life would have actually been the same because he didn't affect it that much. He just affected how the parents
I got you.
got together stuff. I'm thinking his childhood, his parents would have still struggled a little bit. They probably would have got better jobs, a little bit better jobs. But I mean, of course, he was higher up in Biff wasn't holding him down his whole life.
Yeah.
But you
Oh.
got to think of the line of events also changed too, where Biff probably didn't interfere in their life near as much, even if he would have been a bully.
Yeah.
Because you know the car, the set in the car and him punching Biff in the face never would have happened in the other timeline.
Yeah, in the other timeline, the original.
But you know, everybody starts off like you said that house. Well, I mean, they probably only had so much money when they got married,
So they
and they
had the
just
same
slowly
house.
and they slowly just bought better cars, better furniture, and their kids got a better education because you know their kids are wearing suits now.
Yeah, wearing suits now, you know. And then his sister is like
And
a.
you got to think the Marty jumps into the third timeline.
Which wait, hold on.
Okay,
Marty's.
because we go to remember he shows up at the single
Oh,
pound mall.
the Lone Pine Mall jumped to a
And
different timeline. Yep.
he sees the second timeline. Marty jumps
Mm-hmm.
in the car and he jumps out of time, which means that Marty jumps into 1955 again, but he goes in the third timeline.
Yes, a
So
third
now
one.
there's three timelines, but the second two timelines will match each other completely.
Yes, I think I'm getting it.
Because that's the thing. Because the third timeline makes a fourth timeline. The fourth timeline makes a fifth timeline, and from then on, there's nothing but
That's right.
timelines.
You know what? The Lone
But
Pine
all
Trees
the
thing.
timelines will
No, you're
all
right.
the timelines
Yeah.
will match except for one thing in all these timelines. When they get to the second or third movies, they can actually alter their timelines now.
Oh yeah, I highly agree. You know what? I didn't think about that one. Like the Lone Pine Trees Marty, when he goes
Yeah.
back, right? He still go back to Mr. Peabody's farm, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
that
He does
won't
the
be.
same thing over. He does
Yeah.
the exact same over. So the timelines mainly match. Those timelines don't matter.
You won't be two
But
pine trees.
but if anybody ever alters another one of them timelines, then they matter. So basically, he jumps out to another timeline, but the
That's
timeline doesn't matter now because
so
it's the same
dangerous, man.
Yeah,
So
but you got to think though,
dangerous.
in the second movie, because of this timelines, they create even more timelines.
Yeah.
So
the second
basically, they've
movie.
created several alternate realities with the same. That most of them match.
Ooh. Ooh.
But yeah,
Wow.
like looking in the mirror at yourself, taking a picture of yourself, taking a picture of yourself, taking a picture. So there's like a season of you taking a picture
It's
of
like,
yourself.
that's why I love time travel. It's so complicated.
Well, it's not that complicated. It's actually the simplest thing ever.
No, because now I'm thinking about the Lone Pine Tree Marty, right? When he goes back in time.
Yeah, he goes
It
and
won't
does the
be
whole thing.
two. It won't be two pine trees, right?
Yes, it will be two pine trees.
Oh, yeah,
because there was only two pine trees at that beginning of that timeline.
So what happens? Oh, the original one is the original. It's
You
always
got to
two pine
think
trees.
that when they jump back to 55, 55 is going to match all the front.
Yes.
It's going to match.
Wow. Okay.
He's just so basically the fourth timeline and the third timeline is going to be the same as the second timeline.
The second timeline.
Everything's the same, so you don't even have to think about the third timeline because it's going to match the timeline.
So,
but if Marty would have known that Doc Brown kept the note,
oh yeah,
then we would have had a problem.
So, yeah, we agree that the first timeline Doc Brown dies and Marty.
Because you got to think the only person in because only a few people actually know the time. Doc Brown's actually the only thing that knows time travel in the second timeline.
So I want to point out
the probably tried to keep everything exactly the same so he doesn't alter the third timeline.
So I want to point out the first timeline, right? Doc Brown worked the hardest on the DeLorean. Yeah. Because he had no prior information.
He didn't have any prior information.
The second timeline has better.
The second one, he got to kind of look at it and study because he had to build the metal thing to go into it and figure out how to do gigawatts and so forth. So, but I mean, he also had to learn EFI and a lot of other technologies.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's not. I'm talking about carburetors and stuff. So. Because he had carburetors. I'm sure he could work on a car.
Oh, you know what?
When
he also the DeLorean was electric.
Not full electric.
Yeah, full electric.
It's not full electric.
No, he said the sucker's electric. What does he mean by that?
He said part of it's electric. He still has to start the engine. Still have to put gasoline in it. So they had one engine running with another engine. All the electric parts is everything that powers, it time traveling.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it's tied together in there, but in real life, no, that doesn't matter. It don't work that way.
Damn time travel stuff.
But we already know it has to have gasoline too, because that's pointed out later on in the movie too.
Yes. I'm so surprised that they wrote the plutonium with the that's how they got enough power to do the 88 miles plutonium. To go to the future or the past. The time
then they throw a Mr. Fusion on the top of that. You don't need all that crap. Then they're going to use the atomic bomb in the one script, or they had a lot of stuff.
I know, but you know what? It worked out perfectly at the end.
Yeah, it worked out, and he gets back in, and his family's good, everybody's life's good. He gets a pickup for free.
Gets a pickup. Oh man!
The only thing that doesn't work out, he's about to take his girlfriend out in the pickup to the lake, and instead he has to go fix some kids that he didn't know he had yet.
Well,
which he probably would have ended up with.
I feel like the second movie I'm going to tear this apart.
Which he would have ended up with, he went to the lake.
I feel like the second movie, when we talk about the second movie again, right? I'm going to tear that apart.
Well, we're going to, because
yeah, we are going to. That's right.
He shows up. I mean, because he shows up.
Okay. Wait. I want to save that. Okay. So with that,
we're not going to jump to the second one. Where are we going to stop? Were we done talking about this movie? Yeah.
No. Stop talking about the second one. I thought you were going.
I'm not talking about the second one. Okay. This is in the first one.
Yes.
I mean, the second one. I mean, it's almost non-needed. The third one is needed, but the problem is this movie is needed. I like the way it's told.
Oh, I do.
Because he has no choice. It's an accident. He jumped in the past. He's got to get back to the future. That's hence the word Back to the Future. Here's what's funny thing is when they titled this movie, the head of Universal didn't like the title. He couldn't get the title. He's
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. The problem is, though, you think he's stuck in the past. He has to get back to the future.
Oh yeah. Oh, I completely get it. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what this problem
in Chinese, right? Well, in Cantonese, it translates exactly what it is, Back to the Future.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So that's one title we'll be able to find.
Yep. So I want to talk about this, like, you know how Doc Brown said all that stuff about not knowing too much about the future is bad, right? And I think the reason why he changed his mind is when Marty told him the story, like, whoa, my dad punched him. He never stood up to Biff before. When Doc Brown questions, like, never? Yeah, is something wrong? Nah, it doesn't really matter. Remember that scene was really quick, right?
Well, because he knows he's already changed the future.
Yeah, he already changed the future because he told him anything you did.
I think because he just wanted him to get his parents together, but he realized it may have just changed. Your father may have just changed himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just grown as a person, somebody else.
And then I was like, oh, is that the point?
Because in the original script, when they comes back to the future, in the original script, they wrote it when he goes back gets in there and goes to the future. When Marty goes back to the future after all that fight stuff, his dad's a prize fighter. A famous prize fighter for punching him. He's like, and plus the whole future changed because Doc Brown's in a flying car.
Yes, he's in a flying car.
Yeah, he's in a flying car. In their time, he comes back and Doc Brown used all the stuff he learned from Marty to build change the whole future of.
Oh, okay. You thought, okay, yeah.
So when he comes back, the whole future was supposed to be different. Instead, he just comes back to regular future.
So the Lone Pines Marty DeLorean should have been different. Should have been, but they didn't.
What should happen?
Like the DeLorean could have been a little bit more different, like more maybe powerful or it have more features than
It
the
could,
first.
but the problem is that's what we're trying to tell you, that Doc Brown that knew the future, he kept everything the same,
Just to keep it
and he
consistent.
didn't even let Marty know. Yeah, because he didn't even say Marty because he knew it was going to happen the same as long as he didn't interfere.
Yes, it would happen the same.
Because he could have remembered to put plutonium in the time machine. That way, he would have had time machine to get back without talking to that Doc Brown. But it would have altered and made a third timeline.
It could have made, it could probably made a third timeline. He could have,
and the thing is, you won't want any more altered timelines.
Was it Albanians? It was Albanians, right?
No, it was Libyans.
Libyans. I'm sorry, Libyans. I mean, I can't remember.
Albanians. We're not cutting down the Albanians today.
Well, I'm not trying to cut down anybody else either.
Maybe next week. Well, last week we cut down. Who did we cut down? French, Mexicans, and Canadians.
From Back to the Future. None of those people are in the movie.
Yeah, no, we're always cut down.
Unless Michael J. Fox is somehow Canadian. I don't know.
Is he?
I have no idea.
I think he is.
Is he?
Hey, let's figure this out.
Let's see. Michael J. Fox. It's very funny, right?
I mean, come on. We already know.
Oh, he is Canadian.
Figures.
Michael J. Fox.
Oh, well.
Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Greatest American actor ever.
Greatest American actor ever. Yes.
That's funny. For how much I like to talk crap about the Canadians, almost all my favorite actors are Canadian.
A lot of them, yes.
Yeah, William Shatner. Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, my favorite actor is,
Christian
Bale. But I do like Tom Hanks still.
Tom Hanks is American.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is American. That's right.
And I would crush if we find out he's not. Next you'll be telling me Samuel L. Jackson's from Canada.
Let's hope not. At least, you know what? My favorite one, well, not my favorite one, right? Just because he played Captain America. Chris Evans is American.
Oh, yeah. So
from
it's
Boston.
One thing they got right. Thank God. We're going to have this English guy play Captain America.
What? I'm leaving this country.
Yeah, no. I just got here.
God.
We better make sure. What is Mackie? What is his name? Mackie that plays Captain America now.
Oh, Anthony Mackie? He's
American. Anthony Mackie. Watch him turn out. Oh,
he's
French.
He's French. What about Sebastian Stan? Is he American?
I think he is.
Oh, okay. So Lost
But it doesn't matter. He doesn't play anybody.
Yeah, he's just Captain America.
Guy. He's okay. Yeah. I mean, thank God Iron Man's from America too.
Oh, that's really funny. Like my Spider-Man is probably one of my.
But
most
not Doctor
favorite,
Strange.
Right?
Doctor Strange is English.
It's English. Spider-Man is English.
English.
Yeah.
English people.
It is so funny. I like.
They need to start checking their.
I like Spider-Man better than Captain America, but I would have because I think it's just the name Captain America should be the American playing this guy, right?
Yeah,
I didn't even care about if Spider-Man was a British or Canadian or anything at all.
But I'm thinking if you could use an Englishman and a Batman. I mean,
I guess that would work.
Or a Superman.
But you know what? They came from fictional cities. Metropolis and
but
Gotham.
Batman and Superman is all you. Come on, Superman starts off. He fights for the American way.
That's right.
He used to
American way.
And then we got some English guy playing it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I want to point out that is my favorite Superman though.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Cavill. Some people pronounce his last name different.
I mean, I like Christopher Reeve. He was cool because I grew up with it. But I don't know. I thought the new spin on Superman was pretty good, even though a lot of people hate it.
It's really funny. We got off on the subject from Back to the Future. So I'm just going to end this right here, right? So until then,
we're going
to make like a tree and get out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.